word for it. Don't look it up either. Welcome, boys and girls. Boom goes the dynamite. We're back. Bing, bang, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, Egghead News. I think this is episode 13. You guys might have caught me off guard. Hello, I am your host, Tracy Spivey. It's good to be back. Hot time in the summer. New York City, June. It's hot, but it's nice. I can't complain. I'm in the cockpit today. Usually I'm out on the desk, but we thought we'd switch it up. No, I did not get evicted. Ladies and gentlemen, with me today, as usual, he's on my right, but today, since I'm in another room, since I've been in detention, Pablo, say it twice, Solano is in the house.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
And I would like to, welcome the all-star team of Egghead News. These guys have been around here for a while. We keep bringing them back, not because I owe them money. I bring them back because they're good, and they know exactly what they're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll start over to Pablo's left. See, I got that one right. Good friend of mine. I like this kid. I call him kid because he's younger than me. That's what I admitted. Straight out of Chicago. He jet sets back and forth. I'm following every move he makes. He knows. I just told him about where he went for dinner last week. Good friend of mine,
He was.
Mr. Melvin Taylor.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Good to be back. Thank y'all so much for having me on. I'm glad to be here.
And a man who I tracked down, chased. I put some cars outside his house. I'm serious. Y'all think I'm joking. I'm serious. I've been after this man to come on the show from the first day. We spoke to him. I think he's great. The man's personality, this guy should run for president, and I'm not telling him that to push him out the window. But I like this guy a lot, and that means a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Santana.
I don't know if my social media habits will allow me to run for office of any kind.
Listen, I think you do. Mike, you do whatever you want, Paul.
You can really do
want.
anything and still become president.
Well, now, right?
You understand this?
Not really, though.
Anything.
Mike, it's good to have you. It's good to have you here on the show.
Good to be here. Good to be here representing two nerds in the night.
Usually your compadres are here with you, but what I said to do, I'm gonna have y'all all on individually to give everybody their own little spotlight. And last, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, kids of all ages, I got a guy here who, God damn, he's a hell of a guy. And I would call one of this great guy. He's a everything. There's not enough accolades I can give him, but ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. I know as we're in the concert. Put your hands together. I have in the house once again, and I'm glad because he's going to be taking some trips. Mr. Ian Dorian is in the house. We'll put the applause in later.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? It's a real pleasure to be back here and to be with these awesome, awesome guys. They're fantastic. I'm looking forward to this one.
Hot time in the summer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to do a little flashback, a little time warp. We're going to take you back to 1967. I sound like Wolfman Jack right now, but we're trying to do this on purpose. Hit it.
Well,
He's going to...
Aquaman, swift and powerful monarch of the oceans, with ability to summon and command all creatures of the deep. Aquaman, who with his teenage ally, Aqualad, guards and defends all that lives in the seas against the forces of evil. Aquaman, king of the seven seas.
Aquaman is black and injustice is
Aquaman, DCEU. Boys, a lot of stuff has happened this week. I know we all been following the news. I can't even begin to... I can't begin to begin. But I'm going to start off with Pablo. Pablo.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to admit something to the people that always watch us. You know that's my aunt. Auntie, Pablo always, for the last couple of months, he didn't want to talk about the DCEU. He didn't want to say anything. But I think after what is going on this week, I'm looking forward to this. Aquaman, I heard some things 2 months ago. I let Pablo know. I said, hey, listen, I'm going to give you a heads up. They saying Aquaman is good. Pablo said, he gave me that DCEU fatigue. I said, but you know what, Pablo, I'm hearing things, and you know what, I was looking forward to it. What you thinking, Pablo?
No, I've read a lot of articles regarding Aquaman, and I've seen some actual pictures, leaked photos of what's this guy, Black Manta. You know, I don't like the leaked photo because it looks weird. It looks like because he's in a tank top. He looked like he just broke into a store and like, what's this? But I'm looking forward to it because I got in previous conversations that I've had with Tracy, it presents an opportunity for DC in that Marvel has someone similar on their bench called Submariner. And I'm pretty sure if Marvel had the Submariner, we would have seen this movie already, right? And so it puts DC in a position to, again, one-up them in terms of putting out a superhero and showing them this world that we're supposed to get with Avatar, but DC is going to do it in that, showing us that underwater world and how that would look like. And so I am curious and a little bit excited to and looking forward. I think it comes out in November.
Yeah, November 2018. Yep. I want to ask Mel. Mel, do you see this as a course correction for the DCEU? And how do you feel about Aquaman? You know, he was the butt of a joke on the HBO show for years, and you know that's why I did the flashback. I did the flashback to the 1967. But seriously, if you read the books, Aquaman's no joke.
I want to say, well, to answer your first question, I hope it can be more of a course correct, so that way they can kind of get on the correct path and everything does starting to straighten itself out. I'm excited for Aquaman, so let's see what we got from here. I mean, that's what he was saying in the video. So I was like, I wanna call him Aquaman now, and hopefully he rides on seahorses and whatnot in the movie. But I'm really excited for it. I hope that it's good. It's honestly, I just want them to start putting out more quality product that we can all
endorse. Is that what we're down to now, Mel? We just want better stuff. Mike, let's swing it over to you, Mike.
Mike. I mean, first of all, I'm disappointed in the footage. My favorite part of that series is when he's like on the back of a turtle and like jet skiing off of 2 dolphins.
I remember that.
Really zooming down to save the day. I don't know if it's much of a course correction to Aquaman film because like they were filming that or working on the concepts for that even while Justice League was really debuting Aquaman for the movie going audience. And I love how after Justice League came out, folks that are working on the Aquaman movie were like, yeah, we're not going to do it that way, don't worry. We're not going to make air pockets under so they could talk to each other. We got a different way of handling it.
Yeah.
So hopefully visually we're going to see something like what you were talking about, Pablo, that's going to blow us away, something to be visually cool. But I don't know how much of a course correction it is. It just might be amidst what have mostly been underwhelming films at best, a good film and on its own. And I would love to see a Submariner movie. I would love to see that.
Mike, do you feel there's a bit of a buzz now, or is DCE?
Yeah, I mean, there's been positive buzz ever since they announced who the director was, because everybody knows what he's been capable of visually in some of his other films. So they were like, "Wow, what are you gonna do with this challenge?" Because everybody knows that filming underwater is like a director's nightmare. They talk about how difficult it is to do that, but with modern technology, you know, they'll be able to hopefully show us something that doesn't look corny and cheesy and worthy of Momoa's, you know, like manliness. Yeah, you know, like something that's gonna be cool.
We're gonna go to the encyclopedia now, Ian, and I can ask you these questions, not to give you the harder homework, but 67, we saw the classic heroes, but that was a different time in America. They revamped Aquaman, but the Aquaman that we're gonna see on the film is not basically the Aquaman that's in the books. The Aquaman that's currently in the books looks like the Aquaman from 67, but I guess that's an aesthetic thing. And how do you think this is going to play out? I mean, unfortunately, Aquaman's been a brunt of jokes for a couple of decades, but...
Yeah, oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I grew up watching those original shows, and I wasn't sure if I was intrigued by the fact that he rode that seahorse, or I was a little...
Nobody else was doing it.
It was a little quirky, a little strange. I mean, the guy could swim pretty much as fast as Superman could fly in a strange way. Yeah. I think Aquaman, as silly as it was very ahead of its time, because that character made us think about... We know more about, and this is a fact, we know more about outer space than we do about the deep ocean.
That's the truth.
And so Aquaman, really ahead of his time as a character, because he made us think about the rest of our planet, the majority of our planet,
Right.
that we don't think about.
Yeah.
And he made a lot of people interested in that. Jacques Cousteau was a very famous French guy who explored the sea and the ocean.
Yes, he did.
And besides that, we had nothing else. So to have Aquaman, it was like if Jacques Cousteau was a handsome blonde dude who could punch stuff.
Yeah.
You know, to jump forward with Momoa. I mean, the guy is oozing of machismo, right? Like he's super macho, and I do like that he's from a region of the world where it makes sense that he would be Aquaman, you know. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but I'm totally fine. And one thing I do want to say, and the last part is about, is it going to be a game changer? Or whatever the term was that we were using. Course corrector. Well, by the way, that is a pun when you think about it with Aquaman, course correct. I'm just saying. Anyway,
Man.
you with me, right? But they tend to do pretty well when they do individual character stories. They have a little more time to build the character themselves. I mean, look at Wonder Woman. Batman on his own usually does pretty well. When they've tried these team things, it gets a little hairy, and we get like bits and parts of good stuff.
Right.
And so I think that this movie, I'm just going to say, I think it's going to do well. As a
Pablo,
matter,
I wanted to go to you, not to cut you off. You know, Pablo, I wanted to go to you because Pablo brought up something that all the rest of you guys didn't have. Aquaman is basically the King Arthur story. Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, if they go that route in terms of, because from what I remember reading comics a while back and cartoons and animated films, he didn't even know he was Aquaman. He was an older cat. He didn't know he was Aquaman.
Like some of the tellings of
yeah,
his
some of the
origin.
storytellings of his origins. Those are the ones that I remember. I'm not quite sure of the origins that he has already while he lives in Atlantis and how he gets into power.
Right.
So, but looking at it that way, yeah, it depends. I don't know if they're gonna go with that.
Hey,
I don't know if they're gonna go with that.
they have Jason Momoa. They could go underwater Game of Thrones with if they want, because there's this whole intrigue with, you know, his brother wanting power and then him not getting it, his relationship with his mom, and the responsibilities of being royalty underwater, and how you represent that to the rest of the world. They could do that. I don't need them to do that. I just want to see really cool action scenes underwater. I don't really need it to be that complex. Not for the debut. We kind of already saw the character in Justice League, so I don't need a lot of backstory for him. Not that much.
Yeah. Do we get a classic throwback of how Aquaman used to be with Dolph Lundgren being casted as? Is Dolph Lundgren casted in the
Dolph Lundgren
film?
was cast as
Dolph
Aquaman?
Lundgren is playing one of the kings
Oh, okay.
in retrospect to Unite the Seven.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that promotion was Unite the Seven Justice League. No, it was Unite the Seven Kingdoms of Atlantis.
Oh.
Dolph Lundgren is playing one of the kings who is apparently Mira's father.
Okay.
So this whole
You never know if
time
you get a
bomb I
classic
threw in there
Aquaman, 'cause
about
he has the
King
look.
Arthur was on
Dolph
purpose.
Lundgren.
you know, I think you're right.
Dolph Lundgren has the look
Of the classic Aquaman.
of the classic Aquaman.
I think
That'll
that's
be dope if
spot
they
on.
did that.
That sounds
Under
spot on.
Armour orange long sleeve, and that's it. He'll look just like him.
Are they gonna
Thought
do?
that they were gonna do like
They do
Momoa in
something like that with
pajamas,
Ant-Man,
do something
right?
like that too.
What?
Mel, how
One
you
more
feel
time?
about that? Aquaman doing King Arthur.
I mean, honestly, it'd be a cool idea. I'm just going along with the ideas of I just want a good movie, man. Just
Okay.
please don't mess it up.
Submariner or Aquaman? Who came first?
Submariner.
Submariner was.
He was like the first.
He was the
Marvel-
first
He's the
Marvel
first hero. And the
Okay.
first
As a
As a
mutant.
matter of fact, Submariner. See, they acquired Fantastic Four, right?
Not yet.
Wait, who
That's-
acquired?
Not yet.
Did
He's saying back.
are we?
you're
Are
asking
they
right
going to be
now.
able to do a Fantastic Four in the movies now or no?
Well,
Not
I don't
yet.
know how we're gonna get into the Comcast right now made a $65 billion cash bid.
Right. Okay. So
Okay.
they're trying.
Looking like
They're trying. We'll see.
See what's up.
If that can happen, then we'll see Submariner.
That's a good segue, Trace.
because
Yeah,
he's
that's a good
tied to them,
segue.
to the Fantastic Four very closely.
We're gonna segue right into that since Ian brought it up once again. He pulls out stars out of the hat. Marvel IP, Disney, Marvel, Comcast, Fox. Here we go, boys and girls. This is the information story that's taking over the back page, taking over the genre. Pablo, take it from there. We already talked. I want to hear everybody else's opinion about, and this is strictly business. The part that I love, this is business. So, go ahead, Pablo.
Okay, so there's two scenarios. One that I was just recently informed of by Tracy regarding this loophole that Fox can't sell Marvel properties to another buyer. If they do that, then those IPs revert back to...
Right, it's not theirs anymore.
Exactly. If that is true, then hallelujah, it's over, we good.
They get them back for free $99.
Pablo, here's the bad part. I did the research. Fox is not dead. So apparently Fox will still be live. So if Comcast gets it, Comcast will be able to produce the Marvel IP under Fox. I don't know how they're trying to swing this deal like this.
So,
yeah, but it won't
so
reverse.
this goes back to my
scenario.
This goes back to my other scenario where I think who is it? Disney. I think Disney is going to have to probably, because of Comcast coming in and just hating on the whole situation.
Overpay?
They'll have to overpay, but overpay and not get Sky or all those other properties, just get their stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're right there to get to
I hear what
the
you mean.
day that it is announced. I'm gonna
nerds around the world. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People going to be
I'm
dancing
gonna try
in the
to live
street.
to like
my
100.
Block parties and all. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to live like 100
cryo in between every film.
I'm dead serious.
Wow, Comcast is going to say,
just
you guys
tell me that.
hated me, huh?
So that is the most likely scenario that they're gonna be put at a disadvantage in terms of money wise to produce. I mean, these guys have money; they can do.
They gonna make it back.
Yeah, they're gonna make it
Disney,
back.
You gonna make it back.
Yeah.
I mean, the obvious concern is that if Disney does get control of all these Fox properties, it's like 45% of the box office they'll control, something like that. That's a huge chunk.
They could then
That's a
be
lot of
approached
screens.
as that being illegal almost at some point.
Right, the argument will be made, and it'll be an arbitration probably for
sure.
who knows
Of
how long.
course.
Because the AT&T deal just went through,
And that was
that's been in the
$85
courts for a
billion.
while.
So this
So-
Fox Disney thing is less than the AT&T deal.
Right, but the money is not, I think, the issue that will be under litigation. It'll be like, is this a monopoly?
That's what I'm getting at.
Like,
Thank
so it's
you.
not
That's
just
what I was
the
trying
amount
to
of money.
say. Yeah.
So is the best case scenario is that
Best case scenario,
Disney pays for their stuff.
the best case scenario is that Disney gets it only because we trust them with certain properties, but Disney also finds a way that so many people don't lose their jobs. That's the best case scenario for
Well,
That
most
doesn't
people.
sound like a real scenario. No
but-
offense.
I know, but I'm completely
yeah.
delusional when I'm saying that's the best one.
I think
Not the most
I
realistic.
think the
more
first
likely.
part will work, and the second part.
the first part, I
I
think,
know.
get your stuff and find a way for Comcast to come in and get everything else. Because they want the Sky Sports. They want some of these other IPs that don't necessarily have to be Marvel. Marvel, again, is going to have to pay the price
Yeah.
to get their kids back.
Yeah.
Finally.
Well, that's
Yeah,
Disney
to get
paying the
all the
price,
kids
though,
in the
not
house.
Marvel.
Huh?
It's Disney
Disney's
paying the price.
Yeah,
not Marvel.
Disney. Sorry, Disney.
Well,
It was up to Kevin Feige. Let him write a check. He'll
Oh,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
do an
yeah,
X-Men
that's what I
forever.
mean. That's what I
Again,
mean.
it's not like Disney won't make the money back. in
No,
a
no,
sense,
of course.
you know? And if as long as that guarantee is there, it makes complete and utter sense
I'm
to
gonna
be like,
throw
let's
this
just
out.
get our stuff. Comcast, y'all get everything else,
Yeah.
and then we can all just go our happy ways.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to throw this out. Where do you think it's going to go? The numbers.
In terms of what's the highest
Well,
bid?
right now, Comcast is cash money, $65 billion.
With the assets,
Cash.
they're making it at 70.
Can someone tell me what was the offer from
The Disney one was like
52.
52, but it was stocks. It was stock. Like, really, it wasn't cash. So, different tax things going on there.
Absolutely.
One is up front, and the other one is like over time. So,
right?
It can go over $100 billion.
You think they're gonna overpay that much, P? That Fox is just sitting back with two competitors and said, "Just give me money."
It
give
could
me
get
money,
close.
give
It
me
could
money."
get close to. I'd say
there's no pressure on them to do it, though.
to get their IP back. How much? I mean, they're already paying $52 billion. If they say, "All right, we'll give it to you for $45 billion in just these things," and Comcast is going to have to pay 62 probably or more for Sky Sports, all the other.
Yeah, all the
It's
other
just a
stuff that
vast,
comes with it.
Yeah,
But-
you-
an enormous amount.
But Disney's not. I don't think we're looking at it like the characters. We're looking at it. Oh, that's what they really want. Disney's looking at it like we got a digital service coming out.
Yeah.
We're trying to really offer you things you can't get anywhere else. And you throwing Aliens and Predator in there. Yeah, we can do something with that. They're looking at all those other properties as well. But
Well, that's the question I had wanted to throw back. As fans, we just want the Marvel IP back.
Of course.
The rest of the stuff, and no disrespect to anybody else, but Avatar, Predator, you guys can go to Comcast.
I don't care.
I really don't think nobody would blink. Pablo? Avatar's a moneymaker, but if Disney doesn't have Avatar, I have the Avengers. I have,
Like I said, Disney can go so many. They can offer us, TV episodes on their streaming service with no problem.
Yeah.
They can do one dope character that we like and not necessarily have to put them in the movies. They can do whatever they want. They have Star Wars. They can go so many different directions with that.
Yeah.
You think me or you is not? Here's my $25 a month.
Yeah, take my money. Take my money. As soon as Marvel Studios putting out
Come
here,
on,
take
we
my money.
paying to see it.
Well, they had what was it? Disney Anywhere.
yeah, but that.
Yeah, but they just renamed it,
Well, I don't know if they might
Yeah.
also change.
and now they have.
How it's
that's what they did.
rolled
They
out.
renamed it, and then they offered the service again. And what they're doing is they're trying to make something a bit more like Netflix in a way.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Netflix right now is.
and so if they acquire properties and so forth like this, there's so many other avenues besides the movies. I
Right,
mean,
where they'll
I
make
really
money.
think honestly the movies are they might have a kind of a time limit,
Yeah.
but to move it or for it to permeate into their regular streaming,
Right.
that's where down the line the money's gonna start rolling
That's what'll
in.
come in. Yeah, exactly.
I actually think they're gonna double or triple or quadruple their money that way.
Right.
I mean, like you said, Netflix, and they're doing it based off. They're scouring the earth for content, yo. I was watching a Brazilian show,
And they're making their own.
and they're making their own.
Here's the deal,
That's
though.
what Disney has to do.
Netflix kind of did what the Weinsteins did and what Blockbuster did combined. The Weinsteins, what they did was with Miramax and those is they took all these people who were making these movies who couldn't get them seen, and they backed them.
Right.
They went with independent studios and everything.
The smaller ones.
Smaller, that's right, and they became the people for that. And Blockbuster did kind of the same. They took all kinds of movies, didn't have to be top movies, and they distributed them.
Right.
So now, what Netflix did was they kind of did both. You know?
The big blockbuster movies, but they also have room for smaller independent shows or films to be made.
But the difference is that Blockbuster, when they did it, back in the day, for people who weren't alive at that time, Blockbuster was how you got your movies.
Like one left standing. There's like
I
one
still got
some-
my gold card. out.
So what I'm getting at is the Weinsteins had a lot of those movies made, and then Blockbuster sold them. Netflix is getting them made and selling them.
Right.
But so
Middleman.
and when I say getting them made, the rules are a little different now to make a Netflix series.
Right.
Now you have to have you have to have all the episodes done. For most of them, you have to have all the episodes already shot and ready to go before they decide whether they're going to run it or not.
Right. So you have to make an investment up front.
Talk.
The studios have to make the investment, not necessarily Netflix.
Right.
So that's where, Disney can afford to make their movies.
Yeah. Right.
But now they have to afford to make their movies.
But in terms of the rules and things like that, not to get too, I don't want to turn this into legalese, but with net neutrality laws being done away, Thanos, all these digital streaming services might suffer because you're gonna have the cable companies want you to, Netflix, we're gonna throttle that, but we have it on demand for $5. Like they're gonna, that might happen because now they can do that.
Yeah.
So we got to see what kind of hit that might have on Netflix, on Disney's upcoming service, on DC's upcoming service, and all that. That's why Comcast getting this is kind of suspect because they also control those things, so they could really squeeze out your Netflix.
A lot of competition.
Sometimes the way to
you
win.
get Netflix data, high speed. The rest of that, buffer. But you can watch it on ours.
Watch it over here.
Sometimes the way to win isn't to necessarily make something, but to keep somebody else from making
Of
something.
course, Edison.
Exactly.
That's
Right?
it right there.
That's right.
All right, boys, here's another segment of the Egghead News. We're going to go straight into it. We call it Hot Topics. And here's a hot topic
gotta
that
get some
T-shirt
Is
not
there a
from Hot
bell or
Topic.
a dinger?
no
Ding,
bell.
ding.
We just go
T-shirt
right
is not
into
from
it.
Hot Topic.
We'll put
Are we going to do a
the bells
speed
in
question
later.
thing?
We'll put the
Let's
bells
do
in later.
Like a speed thing. Like,
Oh, we gotta have the question.
Here's one that's got me confused.
Yep.
And we got 2 Joker movies. That's what I'm gonna say. Pablo, take it. Go around the table. I got nothing
Oh,
to
you,
say.
Pablo.
2 Joker movies.
Can we call
Why?
it 2.5 though? Because Suicide Squad 2 still got to get made, and he might
Yeah, but
be in
which
that
Joker
too.
they're using? I mean,
Jared Leto's gonna be in that one.
Yeah. To me, I think I'm not the only one in this room that believes that. I think I'd rather see the Joaquin Phoenix version of the Joker. There's a lot of strength behind that film.
Yeah.
Jared Leto, I think this is. I wasn't too satisfied with his portrayal. I think it was Jared Leto wanting to do his own version of the Joker, and I just don't see the purpose of.
Maybe it was in his contract, P. When he signed on with WB, maybe they gave him a multi-picture deal to pull him in because they wanted a big name to start off their universe. Remember that?
Well,
That was the beginning.
just to jump in real quick, I feel like I do want to see. I definitely want to see this Martin Scorsese Joker film. Like I was saying before we even started, you could even like do a alternate universe type thing where both of them do exist. But my issue was I didn't get enough of Jared Leto to even really be able to give him a chance.
True.
So had he been the main villain in the Suicide Squad movie or been a focus of some sort more than so than what he was, then I'd probably be able to give an accurate portrayal of being like, you know what, I kind of don't want to see this because I saw it in the movie and it wasn't that good. But I didn't see enough to be like, you know what, it could be good or it could be really terrible.
I saw enough.
I mean,
Okay.
Wow.
like I agree with you, Melvin. Like all the stuff they left on the cutting room floor that you can see now in the extended, or the deleted scenes with Jared Leto and Margot Robbie.
Were they good?
Well, that's not the point. The point
Okay.
is like they left on the cutting room floor so much backstory, more opportunities for you to see this character and flesh out his portrayal to maybe help you understand why what we did see in the main film was the way it was.
Now, didn't I'm gonna let you finish your point, but just real quick, didn't they say they shot enough to where they could have did like their
Right.
own
Right.
Joker movie out of just that?
That's what
material?
Jared Leto-
And we
I
got,
was
like,
just going to
5
ask that
minutes in
question.
total.
It sounds
That
like
makes
they
no
have
sense.
all this
They did.
footage that they can actually say, hey, we can afford to go ahead and make a
Footage, yeah,
film of
which
it.
is strange. Like with all the
we
other
already
DC
spent
films,
the money on it.
there was enough footage that some of it showed up in trailers, some of it showed up in official set photos that didn't show up in the film.
We didn't see any.
So it was a lot. And Jared Leto even came out and said that he felt deceived because the film that ended up in the theater was not
What he shot.
what he shot. He's like, it was completely different. So I'm also interested in seeing the Scorsese because of the star power, the name behind that. Also, the budget was announced, 55 mil.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be, it's like a little guerrilla approach to it. That's not big money. So it'll probably be gritty.
Which is dope.
Yeah, which is dope. But the Jared Leto thing, I agree with Melvin. Like, I don't feel like I saw enough. Now, my initial, like if I had to rank him, he's low on the totem pole in terms of Joker on a big screen. But I think most of that is because I didn't see enough.
Jury's still out.
So I'm still like kind of, I'm not saying I prefer him. I'm not saying it was great. So I can't go as far as you and be that disappointed, Paulo. But
I just don't want
I
to
just
see
feel
it.
like I didn't see enough.
Ian,
just-
how
We're
do
gonna
you
get
feel
more.
about the
So
Joker,
it's
Ian?
happening.
Well,
The Joker's a great character. That's hands
he's
down.
all right.
Joker's one of
Greatest
the
villain.
greatest
It's all
characters
right.
ever made.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. I haven't even seen the extra stuff that you guys have seen with Jared Leto. But just initial response, look, he was a whole different kind of Joker. Okay, he wasn't for me. He wasn't for me. I'm 49. It wasn't for me. It was for someone in a different time, in a different age, in a different experience. And I think they're actually different Jokers, like really different. So that's how it could possibly work.
Yeah.
because they're so. I highly doubt they're going to be anything like each other. And as a matter of fact, when you say a 55 mil, that's kind of high-low. Most of the money is spent on the talent
Right.
on a film like that.
Exactly.
So we're talking about low budget, but we're talking about it's the only way something like that's going to work if it's super gritty, dark, okay?
I'm with it.
And so that's going to have that kind of punch, that kind of fear factor, that's kind of what's going to happen next. Almost, I could see it even feeling a bit horror, like and a little mafia. Definitely a mafia.
I'm probably
the
gonna
other one.
butcher the
No,
last
I
name.
don't.
Was it Azzarello? What was the guy's?
Ryan Azzarello.
Yeah. Oh, I got it right.
But he's a nice guy, by the way. Very nice man.
I was just gonna say that it might have that kind of aesthetic, like a darker, because his run on Joker was a little dark, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It might have that
I
look.
actually think it's gonna go. I mean, this is me. I could be wrong, but I think it's gonna go further.
Cool. It's gonna be
I think,
hard R.
I think it's
gonna
gonna.
be hard R.
I literally think it's gonna be no holds bar.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go R, it's only because they're gonna release 2 versions.
I hate when they do that.
I'm only saying in case they want
Yeah,
a wider audience.
be able to-
I can't imagine that Scorsese is going to do something
That's what I'm saying.
that's going to fit in with our 12-year-old nephews and
here's the-
nieces.
This is gonna be the
What?
Joker that cusses.
This
all right?
is this
gonna
is
be that
why
one.
you have both of these Jokers to save face for that, so
what
that
I'm
way you can
saying.
have. I got my Jared Leto that's gonna fit in everything that I'm doing, so that way it doesn't mess up my 12-year-old kid money.
But
And I
this-
got my Martin Scorsese over here, where hey, y'all go to bed so we can watch this movie.
But the Scorsese one is a really good one to lead to The Dark Knight when Batman was older. It's I think it could set a stage for a new Batman experience. I'm just throwing it out there.
I wouldn't be surprised if Batman doesn't even show up in that Joker film.
I'm not even talking about that film. I'm talking about setting the stage.
Oh, you think in terms of what we get moving forward with the Batman?
Joker.
It could be
we're supposed to.
that could be a segue into a whole different kind of storytelling for them.
That could be a segue into the Matt
lights.
Reeves Batman.
Which Pablo, he said he wanted a younger Batman, so that was the whole Ben Affleck thing out the window. And I'm just glad somebody finally, and you know, Pablo's been advocating it for like the last 6 months. All you got to do is, guys, is just rewind the episodes and you'll see it. But he wasn't advocating it out of a negative situation. And Mike, Mel, we just felt, and I agree with Pablo, you can't take a character like Batman out of the Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns story and put him in the beginning of a universe building Justice League. It just doesn't match.
Well,
You don't do that.
So
I mean, it's almost like you're looking for instant fan gratification. But like Pablo said, now I got this old Batman with all these up and starting Justice Leaguers. This don't work.
Yeah, that was odd, but I don't know if they were going for that Joker. I feel like they were going with the
You mean
Scott
Batman?
Snyder. No, because you mentioned Joker from The Dark Knight Returns.
No, I said Batman from the Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, I could have sworn
They
you said
plugged- no, they-
Joker from
they-
The Dark
Either
Knight
way,
Returns.
Batman from Dark Knight Returns was. I mean, this guy.
But you have to earn that. They didn't earn it.
Yeah,
The reason
thank
why
you.
Dark Knight
You have to earn
Returns
it.
was so good was because they hit a rut.
Yeah.
And then Frank Miller came in and said, all right, I'm going to do a time skip and I'm going to give you a gritty, rated R, again, because he used to be very rated R in the originals, Batman. And, you know, you're going to want to know why he's this grizzled and you're going to understand why he's, you know, like, so ready to throw down. Like, you had to earn that.
But for
And
the
that
most
came
part,
from decades of
but for
Batman
the most
stories.
part, all the Batmans except for the Chris Nolan ones, we got to see a beginning Batman and him working his way up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He just
And-
threw Affleck at us
here's-
with grays.
Well, here's my thing is that, like, when I initially heard it, I would kind of play on the fact that because we've gotten that story so much and so often, like I was saying before, this would be the perfect time to bring in a younger guy to be like, this guy is going to take over for
Yes.
Batman, because Batman is now just going to sit back and be the guy in the chair. You get to be Terry McGinnis. You get to be Batman Beyond with all of these younger Justice League guys because you have an older Batman. I've seen everything. I'm going to just direct you guys where to go. That would have been a perfect setup for it. But now because you're forcing him to all right, we got to change up all this stuff. Now we want to do this. Now it brings everybody out of it when you had the perfect lane to say, now we can do 2 Batmans, get one of them out of here eventually, and now we still have a younger one to keep the franchise going, even when all these other Justice League characters are now gone.
You know what the problem is, Mel?
Go ahead, hit me with it.
All your suggestions, as much sense as they make for fans like us, they come with foresight. And DC has not demonstrated to me and his fans at all that they had any type of damn foresight or sense, because they keep making 3 films, chopping them up, releasing something. We're confused by the ads and the trailers, and we're like, "Where's that movie? And
where's this movie you promised me?"
Right, and that's
Where
what's
is it?
happening.
Any commentary on the Batman in the DCEU and Ben Affleck's Batman, to which he didn't even want to play the role.
Well, you can see my face. I'm like,
He's like,
that's his face. When they do press junkets, that's the Ben Affleck face.
do we really got to talk about it?
And speaking of, Ian's giving me all these segues. Paula, I think we're gonna go into the segue of.
Let
Well, yeah, we want to hear what he got to say first.
well, that was my comment.
Never mind. You didn't know that? Never mind. Keep it rolling. Go ahead, Tracy. You got it.
San Diego Comic-Con, apparently there's a rumor, speculation, that maybe a Zack Snyder uncut Justice League will be released that people can buy. And I'm to the point, why can't people move on? Why do they think... Pablo, please.
That's the Joker.
This is not ad-lib, ladies and gentlemen. We just have to exhale.
All I have to say, I only have one thing to say. Well, you want to kill me? I'm sorry for whoever owns that.
Use that in the intro.
Very haunting.
Please, Pablo.
I almost forgot what he was talking about just now.
We
You want me
talking
to
about
wash it away with the Jared Leto Joker laugh?
San Diego Comic-Con. There might be a Zack Snyder.
Who's paying for it? First of all, to
Apparently,
finish.
Zack paid to get the production done, and he's gonna. Like, why would you do?
I think this is obviously a marketing ploy. There are people, fanatics out there that want it and will pay for it. Who knows what the price will be? But it's going to be somewhat of a collection, probably, if it does a limited edition, like 10,000 copies of.
Come on.
You can't copy it and send it off.
Stop trying to sell me a movie 3 times.
This is the word. You're not going to get anything different.
Can I just say, I just want to say one thing. This leads to all the dysfunction and not having the foresight we talked about, that this is even something that you have to bring up.
Like the leak stuff that was coming out into the press, on other podcasts, whatever, we remain nameless. When they were talking about what got left on the cut because Zack Snyder wasn't involved, we're talking about, the story of why, what was the villain's name? See, I even forgot. Steppenwolf. Why he was doing what he was doing. Like he was trying to prevent Darkseid from getting here. Like that was the original take that Zack Snyder wanted to go with, right? That was film. We were gonna get, there was a half hour of backstory cut from Flash and
Cyborg.
We were gonna see him playing football.
We barely seen as much Cyborg as we seen Joker.
Cyborg went through puberty in 2 scenes, and his body's changing, Dad.
And I got it.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff got left on the floor that maybe fans will want to see. I agree with you though. I'm not gonna be satisfied with it either way.
You're gonna see it still, though, right?
No, I haven't seen the Batman v Superman
I'd like to throw in one little thing.
Oh, please do. Please do.
I apologize. So Zack had to leave the film, right?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So maybe he just wants his fans to actually see what he had intended.
I was gonna say,
That's
you know
fine.
what? I wouldn't be.
I mean, it might be that simple. He might have said, "Look, you paid me to make a movie. I had to leave the movie. This is not the movie I would have made.
And here it is.
I would like to share it."
Yeah.
And I don't think he needs the money.
No.
And I think listen, if you're working for these companies, you have to present something to them that's going to make them money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not going to take the risk and they're not going to do it. So I think I'm thinking that it's something he's passionate about getting out, for real, like sincerely.
he went
and
that
I think
far,
to
yeah.
them it makes sense because they get something out of it.
Let me say this: if that is truly how he
it's just
feels and what
supposition.
he wants to put out there, I would be 100% comfortable with him at least saying that to some degree. He doesn't have to say it as fully as what you said, but if he can voice that in some degree, I wouldn't mind watching it just to be like, if you're that passionate about the movie that you wanted to put out and you had to leave and it was out of your control, but you're like, I really still want to show this movie, I would watch it. Now, it's still going to be a dysfunctional DC to me, but I would still watch it.
We're speculating. I'll just throw this in there too. Maybe that's why Joss Whedon decided, you know what, I don't want to do Batgirl. Because if that happens, if Zack Snyder's real version
And then
of the
they're
movie
gonna
comes
go
out,
back and do the other
yeah,
one.
then Joss Whedon's gonna be like, what the hell you brought me in
Yeah,
there
what's-
for?
what's the
He's gonna
point?
maybe that's why he was like, you know what, I ain't gonna give you a Batgirl movie. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Maybe.
We all
maybe.
And I think he would do a great Batgirl movie.
I think so too.
Joss
Which is why I
knows
didn't buy his
how to
excuse for
roll.
why he didn't want to do it. He said, it's just not coming to me right now at the moment. Shut the hell up.
Yo, get
You
that
write
mess
dialogue.
outta here,
Yeah, you write
bro.
dialogue in LA traffic every day. Shut up.
Mr.
Backwards.
Solano, please,
Yeah.
some
Get
more,
it right.
While
some
eating
more
a donut.
expounding on Zack Snyder's
Yeah,
Uncut Justice League.
We didn't forgot how
Without
to write
anything to
an
write
empowered
with.
woman character. Yeah, since
Sorry,
when?
guys. I just can't remember how to.
Say that again, Trace.
Some more commentary on Zack Snyder's Uncut Justice League at San Diego Comic-Con 2018.
Listen, this is what I'm going to say about
Why?
Zack Snyder, and then I'll be done with Zack Snyder. I saw an interview with him, and he stated that the interviewer asked him, who do you do movies for? You do it for fans or you do it for yourself? And he, I do it for myself. It's my vision. This is what I would like to see, and I hope the fans would like to see it too.
Okay.
I think Zack Snyder didn't fail in producing these movies in terms of his vision and what he wanted to do. He was successful up until the point where Justice League happened. He was showing us what he had done. We saw that with Batman vs. Superman. We saw that with Man of Steel. We can go on a tangent with Man of Steel. I have my thoughts, deep thoughts that I've had with Man of Steel. But it wasn't Zack Snyder's fault. He sold them on the vision. He made the movies that he wanted to make. People didn't gravitate towards them. They didn't feel the connection. I'm sure most of us agree. And that's it. Whether there's a Justice League movie out there that he wanted to show that we didn't get to see, and if it sounds pretty much to what you're saying regarding Joss Whedon and whether or not he stopped, I'm not doing Batgirl because what was the purpose of you bringing me here now to show this? His ego is all messed up right now, you know? So if it turns out that it was okay, but I don't know.
So you don't think it's going to be the tidal wave that these guys all over the blogs think that they're missing some golden rainbow that, oh, you're preventing him from giving us what?
But that's the thing.
Like-
Even if the Zack Snyder film is amazing, right? That's taken several leaps. Even if it's amazing, we still, as fans, don't know where DC is even going with a lot of those properties. What's the next step? We don't have a Man of Steel 2. They took Justice League 2 off of their release
Slate.
schedule. So it's like we don't even know what the hell's happening. So even if that film is amazing, it's just gonna give me and leave me with more questions of where they want to take these franchises than I have now. So
You make a really good point. As a matter of fact, you made me think that if they go ahead and what if people like the Zack Snyder cut better?
right.
Are they gonna think?
Ah, look
Are
at
they-
me. He almost faded.
Are they gonna think? Why did we pay for this other film? Are they gonna feel like? Wait a minute. We don't want this other one as part of the canon of the stories. We want this one.
I mean, I don't know. How
This
you would
is
undo
these.
that
This is the whole.
at that point.
You blame.
I just had to throw that out
You
there.
blame.
No, it was good. That was
you
good.
blame You blame WB for all of this. You blame WB for
Execs,
all of it.
They had these execs on a loop. All these films were being released. They had to be released on a schedule so that they could get their bonuses that they were released and they make a certain amount of money. And all we hear from behind the scenes stuff and why so many writers, directors, and actors are complaining of these films is that the execs are meddling. They're like, reshoot this, reshoot that. You know, like, this is not working, fix that. That's why we get trailers with things that don't even appear in the film. And I'm not talking like what Marvel does when they did the eye patch thing with Thor, and we were thinking, oh, he had both eyes. No, you don't. That's a different type of edit to trick us in a good way. DC is doing trailers of films we don't see. Margot Robbie wasn't wearing no blue button-up shirt in any of Suicide Squad. But apparently there's a whole scene with her and Joker where she rides a motorcycle to cut him off, and they talk in the street, and that's character development we never got. So when she leaves and goes to him, it feels hollow because if you're just watching Harley Quinn as a character for the first time there, you're like, all right, her boo. But we understand it as fans a long time. No, that's where we see the abuse. That's where we see the psychological ties she has. And that we didn't get.
We don't see the whys for a lot of things.
That's all meddling from the execs. That's people.
We don't get the story.
Right.
We get the highlights, but we don't get the meat of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it me that, or is it that the only people that seem happy and are smiling all the time is Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller. I don't know why, but he's one of the happiest dudes there.
His movie hasn't even been made yet.
Ray Fisher, who's doing Ray Fisher and Ezra Miller, and probably Aquaman. Everybody else is like Jim. What's his name? What's
Henry
Jim Cavill?
Cavill?
Henry Cavill.
Were you thinking of Jim Caviezel?
Yeah, I thought about him for
Because you're
Doctor
thinking in your head,
Strange.
Jesus. You're thinking Jesus.
But-
like with all this.
He even said it. He said, "I'm not in any other trailers, but you guys got me running around doing press conferences and all this other stuff.
Yeah, that was.
Where
that was
is
true.
the
He looked
surprise?
ridiculous.
Where
That
is the
wasn't gonna
surprise?
Zack Snyder supposedly had Superman in the black suit with the goatee. He kept it.
I
Are we
didn't know
making
that.
are we making a
Apparently-
case for wanting to see this uncut?
All I'm saying
no.
is, even if it's a
Don't
great,
do
all I'm
that.
saying
No.
is, even if it's great,
It's like why?
What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, exactly.
it's
Exactly.
like, what are you gonna do with it?
Exactly.
All right, gentlemen, we got the stock market, the ticker tape is ticking. Let's get round to these other topics that we just want to give the my aunt who watches the show a couple of specs. Wonder Woman, 1984. Just go around the horn. Give me your opinion. I think it looks good. It's promising. Patty, I have full confidence in Patty. I don't know about the story, and the one thing that sticks out is how Steve Trevor didn't die. I guess.
I don't know
That
what
was
the
gonna be
hell
the
is up
first
with
thing
that.
I was gonna say was like I'm on board until we got to the point of I saw that picture and was like, what?
Yeah, okay.
Going here?
Okay, so it's superheroes and it's movies and it's superhero
completely
movies.
understood.
And we never actually saw him die.
True.
You got a point.
True, that is true.
And-
Yeah, we didn't see him die.
So we believed he was dead, and it is possible they wanted us to believe that. Actually, in a way, for me, it would be a little better because I didn't like the fact that this guy who had no superpowers did such an amazing thing all on his own. That was
Yeah.
almost saving the world as much as Wonder Woman was.
Yeah.
And I thought that kind of took away from that.
I didn't think about that.
For me, and I have to say, Chris Pine did probably his best
Yeah, he was great.
performance
He was great.
ever because he took that moment and he made it. I felt that moment. I felt like him at that moment. I thought about my family. I thought about people I loved before he pulled that trigger. And he.
Yeah.
But so the only way the guy survived. So they have two options. It's either a completely different story timeline, or what they're probably doing is there had to be some kind of intervention or something.
From who and how?
Oh, so
And why?
Is he gonna be a bad guy at first?
Well,
Is he gotta beat him? To
you can't do that and live. Okay.
No, of course.
Yeah.
So something supernatural, something out of the ordinary. Anybody thoughts?
That's why Cersei is in the movie. Everyone thinks it's Cheetah. Cheetah is villain number 2. Just like in
I thought she just wasn't, and I
Aquaman.
was like, yeah, shit.
Just like Aquaman,
Right.
Black Manta is villain number 2.
Right.
Orm is villain number 1.
So, I mean, in the set photos that we're talking about, I mean, they're not touched up. They might age him. But he was looking the same age.
Pretty young, yeah.
No,
And
but
if
Mike,
this
they
is
could say
84,
Cersei put him in a
and that
magic
happened,
whatever.
whoa.
40 years earlier.
So it might be something supernatural. It could be like a vision or something. Maybe he's not even
Really
alive
there?
in the
That was honestly
character.
what
Could
I
be
was
something
thinking.
like that.
Yeah.
All I know is I felt the same way as I did. Spoiler with like Jessica Jones when they showed us pictures of David Tennant being in season 2. I was like, why'd you show me that?
Yeah.
You know, like
I thought it was alive
I would like
too.
to
I'm
discover
what?
that. The same thing with the Steve Trevor thing. Why are you showing me that?
Yeah, it would have
Like,
been a
let me
great.
see. Yeah, let me see that. in
Would
the
have been
film.
like, whoa!
Yeah,
we all would have
yeah.
jumped.
what
However
do you
they
think about
explain it,
Wonder
I
Woman?
feel like you're spoiling your own damn movie.
I'm excited for it, but I feel the exact same way. Like, don't give that to me right now. Had I just gotten it when I walked into the movie, like, has everybody here or you guys haven't all seen Solo? Is it okay if I
saw
say
Solo.
You saw Solo? Is it okay if I say? Do you want to?
Are you gonna say?
Anyway, I'm not gonna say it.
Well, we probably should.
I am. I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Spoilers, or
The
we
way
have
in which
to-
no
we have to say
spoilers, but the
spoiler.
way in which somebody appears in the movie, if it just happens in the movie, then I'm more likely to accept it. Versus if I see it beforehand, now I got to question why am I getting this?
Right. Then you're expecting, well, if they tell me this, something's gonna top it.
Right. So
I-
like,
I'm
probably
just-
what
I'm
in the
hoping
world-
my fantasy about what it is isn't better than what it is, because then I'll be disappointed.
Well, it's a DC. It's a DC movie, and so far, that has been the case. A weaker fan fiction, a better story than what they've been giving us.
And you know what, though? We're all gonna go see it anyway.
That's right, gentlemen. But before we wrap up this show,
Yes.
Egghead News number 13, I want to do some flashcards. I'm going to put some
Wait a
pictures
minute,
up on
number
the
13,
screen
Friday the 13th?
and give me a quick
Oh, not to
Good number.
review.
Okay.
Oh, the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah.
What do you think, guys?
Unfair. Old man's got to put his glasses on.
Just give me Jon Stewart pop in the trunk,
Thank you.
make it 50
That's
cals
all
out
I
of
need.
raw light energy, and just.
I just say we'll see. Let's
What
see.
do you mean, P? You won't give confidence? You don't feel anything?
No,
What are you
not
saying?
until
They scare me. I'm scared of this.
I would get excited when Marvel put out just the titles and that's it. Remember
Yeah.
when Kevin Feige he was just introducing the titles. With these guys with DC is like, all right.
that.
Green Lantern might
Let's see.
it might be clean now because if you saw Deadpool 2, he
Oh,
goes
yeah,
back in
yeah,
time. Right. Maybe
you
this
saying,
is the
Pete?
Green
What you
Lantern
saying,
we
Pete? They
deserve.
don't spin
This
as
might
good
be
as
it
yours?
right
What you
here.
saying?
You know, let's go.
If Ryan Reynolds would have played Kyle Rayner instead, it would have been a godlike movie. Let's be anyway. Whatever.
I think this could work. Well, how about this? I'm hoping
Of course, we all want these movies to be good.
they have
Mike,
some
give
really
me-
good
give-
characters there.
Mike, give me the one up. What are you thinking? Yes or no?
Jurassic World. I love dinosaurs. So they have my money as soon as.
Okay.
I'm going next Friday with my nieces. We've seen them all in the theaters. I'm going.
I'm put this way. I'm probably gonna go see it, but I'm gonna go see it reluctantly.
Really?
Just because I'm like,
Dinosaurs,
I
though.
feel like I understand, but I feel like it's getting to the point where I'm like, I really want this to be good, but I have a bad feeling
Pablo?
that it's not gonna do it.
Interested?
No, I wasn't interested till since after the first one. They lost me after the first one.
You mean the original OG Jurassic
Yes,
Park?
yes,
Oh, wow.
yes.
I'm not.
Because I saw
not
the
arguing at
Maybe
all.
they need to bring Samuel L. back.
I know. Find a
Jurassic
way.
Park?
Oh, just his
Interested?
arm. Just his arm. Just
Well, instead of snakes on a plane, we could do
Plane
dinosaurs on a
Jesus
train
Christ.
or
Jurassic,
something.
here you go.
Jurassic Park is really close to being like
You gave them a third
Tyrannosaurus
movie.
NATO.
Already.
You know, it's
Listen, I want
Raptor
the
NATO. It's really close.
Okay, my point of view is I love dinosaurs. I love people running from dinosaurs. I like people getting along with dinosaurs.
Sure.
I like every actor in the film. I like the place. I like the environment. I like the CG. I'm not tremendously interested in the movie, but I do like all the parts.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure
with
if
you,
I'm
Ian.
gonna like the whole.
I can get that.
I'm with you,
I can
Ian.
get that.
Okay, the third MCU movie, Ant-Man.
I can't wait.
I'm looking forward for this one.
Because it
Sure.
could answer some questions
Yeah.
for us looking forward to other things.
I want the whole thing to be narrated by that one dude. I'm mad I'm forgetting his name, and my friends are gonna make fun of me for this. But the one dude that wraps up all the heists in the first one, I just narrate.
Oh, yeah.
Just narrate the whole
he's
film.
too funny.
You know what? Honestly, somebody on the internet said if they get him to do like a super cut right before
Yes.
part 2 comes out to
I would
Infinity War
pay
and
for
he
that.
goes through everything,
Yes.
that would be amazing. I'm super excited for this movie just because I want to see the quantum realm. Hopefully that explains some of the things that I think are going to happen. And at the end, I want to see people start to disappear so he can be like, "What's going on? I gotta go figure this out."
Yeah.
Ian, you want to see
Oh my God! Oh, you know what? We gotta talk because I got theories about that. So yes, sir.
I gotta be honest. At first, I wasn't too intrigued by it. To be honest, I wasn't. I was on the fence about the first one. I take Ant-Man more seriously. I grew up with the Neil Adams.
Yeah.
But when they're doing a few things I really love. Number one, they're showing a man and woman that are working as a team together in a way we haven't seen any of the other characters in any of the films do.
That's true.
That's number one. Number two, well, I mean, if you look at the actors, the age of the actors, now they have Michael Douglas, right? And Pfeiffer, right? And
No, not Jennifer. His wife.
and we're gonna get characters that are, we're thinking they're gonna get rid of all the characters because they're getting too old, and they're gonna bring in new young characters. And here Ant-Man comes and puts in two like really important characters that are older than all the other
They
characters.
put some vets.
And for me, that's kind of like a statement, to be honest. Because they had to approve that. They had to say, yeah, let's go with two people who are not 35 or even 40.
Right.
And let's give them like important roles in the film.
Yeah.
Do you know another film that has that?
No, I don't know.
Not with that.
I don't know any other franchise that could youthify their actors the way the Marvel movies do.
Only one I could think of may have been like Odin, but he's gone now.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, and he wasn't, but he didn't have that
He didn't
same
have
role.
as central as a role.
Yeah,
as
that's what I'm saying. So this, here they're trying to deal with females. They're trying to deal with what we call race, which everybody's the same race, but you get my point.
I know.
But nobody really dealt with age, and here this one has, and Pfeiffer's not trying to look younger. They let she looks her age, and she looks like a beautiful woman of her age, and I like that.
But I thought it was smart that they kind of skipped the Hank Pym hero era because he's not the only hero.
I agree with
that
you.
smacked a woman in the comics.
Oh, God. No, you didn't, Mike.
But
Right there.
he's known. A lot of casual fans know about it. So I think it was real smart for Disney to be like, yeah, but there's another Ant-Man. Cool. Let's
go with
do
him.
that.
Gonna ride with
And the last but not least, gentlemen, DC Universe Online, Titans, Red Hood. We're gonna get these shows. Any Pablo, Mr. DCEU agent, how you feel about this?
He's always sighing when we talk about DC stuff. Why you do this to him, Trey?
Because I know
Why you do
he
this
gives
to
good
Pablo?
reaction.
You look
He
like
gives
Ben
good
Affleck
reaction.
whenever you got to do a press junket.
Yeah.
Like Sam Pablo.
Solid Snake sigh. Another mission.
I'm gonna edit it out. I just made the sad face so I could edit it and put the music. Okay. I want to see the Red Hood. I want to see the movie Red Hood, what we saw in terms of the animated film, Red Hood.
Okay.
I don't want him introduced this way.
Online. Okay.
Even though for all of us, we know what the story is. Would it be dope to see it? How they would, do it live action? I think so. I think it would be a cool time, and then move on towards the next phase of Red Hood and introducing him and whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I just there's so many good ideas at DC that they wasted. Sometimes I feel it, the crossover events, all the stuff that they do. I mean, like, how do you do a Bruce Wayne show with Arrow out there? How do you differentiate those things? And they're just letting people run amok with their characters.
I feel like they half and half it. Like, you let Arrow mention Wayne Enterprises, Bruce, Wayne, The Dark Knight, Gotham, but you can't say Batman, and he can't show up. So they kind of quarter-ass it, not even half. I feel like either go hard in the paint or don't.
Yeah.
Don't even mention him.
Yeah, exactly.
Be confident in your
What's
own.
the point?
Yeah, just. I'm most hyped for Young Justice, to be honest.
Yes.
I don't care how I get it. Just gimme. I'll find a way to watch it. In terms of the Teen Titans, those early photos
photos
were not
Good.
necessarily impressive, but Maybe they'll touch him up with some special effects later. I love Raven. She's one of my favorite characters from that team. So hopefully they do right by her, but I don't know. I'm not super excited for what they're coming out with, but we'll be there. We'll find a way to watch at least some of it.
Online?
I would say that I'm probably gonna wait to hear what people got to say before I tune into it. But even more so, that's only because DC has so much going on with all these movies that they're going to put out, with all these TV shows they have coming out. And then they have this DC Online that's going to come out. And I need there to be, or at least this is something I'm projecting on them that I would want to happen, is some type of synergy between all of them, to where if I see somebody in an online, then I can also see somebody in a TV show maybe, or maybe even make like a 2-minute appearance in a movie, just because if you have this much going on, it would make sense to connect everything. I know that's asking for a lot, but I just want to wait to see. All right, let me hear what the reviews are, and then I'll check it. Y'all get these movies first, and then I'll check out everything else y'all got.
Well, gentlemen, this has been Egghead News. We will be back as soon as possible, which means we're going to put another show together. I am glad to have my guests here once again, Mr. Ian Dorian, Mr. Melvin Taylor.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Michael Santana. And, of course, producer Egghead News, Mr. Pablo, say it twice, Solano. Not with us today is Freddie.
He cooking?
Brooklyn Bridge Mahoney.
He cooking?
But Fred, he's probably cooking. If y'all follow him, you know Freddie cooking. He's going to show us a picture pretty soon. But this is an exciting time. I guess the next time we're going to talk, gentlemen, is San Diego Comic-Con. You already gave your opinion about what you really want to see and what WB really has to do. But with the new merger, we don't know what's going to happen. But exciting times coming. And anything you guys want to say before we close it out?
Oh, subscribe. Please comment in the comment section below and hit the notification button so you can get all the latest episodes.
Nice. Repping 2 nerds and an actor, so I'm without my 2 besties here, but just check us out on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, on the street sometimes. 2 nerds and an actor. I'm one of the nerds.
I will say it's Killmonger season, as always. And just search me up on YouTube, Melvin Taylor II. Mess with my reaction videos, subscribe, and yeah.
And I would say, first of all, thank everybody for having me on the show again. This was really awesome. Please subscribe and come back and watch the shows. All of them are good. I go back and watch some of them sometimes just to see what we might have talked about or what some of the what you might have said, and then see if it came true. Like, that's kind of fun to go back and look at them and sort of say, hey, did that work? Did that? So don't just watch what's new. Go back and watch all of them and see if you can connect the dots and kind of have your own personal dialogue at home with us.
Great.
I will let the audience know, that's my aunt, that Pablo goes back just to prove a point to everybody. Y'all don't know he does that. He uses the show as a weapon. He said, I told you.
Auntie one time.
You
gotta let him say it.
But once again, thank you for watching the show. Hope you guys really enjoy. We love doing this. The biggest thing, and like, I don't want to sound like PBS, but the biggest thing I get from people is that they say when they watch the show, they actually learn something. Like I said, I'm not PBS, which is Pablo's Barrels and Sausages, but I'm not PBS, but I'm glad that when people watch the show, they pick up on something. So as we always say, go to the movies.
Go to the movies.
Now, if you don't take my word for it, don't look it up either.